the jungle. Yo.
Welcome in, you're listening to another episode of the Keep the Change podcast, and today I've got a very, very special guest in the studio, my lovely partner, Taryn.
Hello.
I've got her favourite track on.
Yeah, it's a good tune.
You like that one? There's about to be a rumble in this fucking jungle that is this podcasting arena, Taryn, because we're going to be talking about the differences in partners' finance. Now, obviously, we only have insights to our own dynamic, don't we?
Yep.
Because we both come from very different upbringings and money journeys, much like everybody who presents himself to a relationship. And we've noticed some things about each other as we've gone, and I've noticed some things about you.
Oh.
And I've made a list that I thought I would talk to you about. And I'm sure you've got some notes over there too.
Nothing about you, but I might start adding to it.
You want to add to your list?
Yeah.
Okay, so from the top, just so that we can make this a little bit fun for the people, one thing that I know about myself compared to you is that when there's a third of the toothpaste left, your trigger is, I got to order some more.
Yep.
And with me, I'm like, there's 33 more tooth washes out of that.
Well, I don't want to be caught out without toothpaste.
Yeah.
Because I know that you're not going to order the toothpaste. And
Definitely
what
not.
happens if I forget to order the toothpaste?
But
And there'll be no toothpaste.
But there will still be heaps left in the tube.
Then we'll have smelly breath. No.
But you just have to get the tube and you just got to squeeze all of the remainder out and then you can use it. But you don't do that, do you?
No, I don't.
No.
No.
And then also, I'll get you a coffee, I'll buy you a coffee. I'll use my hard-earned money to buy you a coffee. You'll never finish the entire thing.
Yeah, I'll leave a little bit left.
No matter if you're like, this is the best coffee I've had in my life, you always leave a little bit. How come?
Because that's usually like the mixed bit.
The mixed bit.
At the bottom, that all the sediment falls to the bottom sometimes.
And when I met you as well, you were like, what? Leftovers? Like, no way. I'm not. You can have those, but I won't. I was like, what? You don't have leftovers? But
Yeah.
But now you might have them occasionally. Hey, feel like you've changed a little bit?
Not meat.
Not meat. You won't eat meat. Okay. Remember that you're talking to people, not just me. So just
yes, not me.
Don't whisper at them because they'll wonder, the fuck, is she a real thing?
Yeah.
Now, I think what I learned is that I grew up thinking that the world was quite scarce. So you do take every single last drop out of the toothpaste.
Yeah.
You get every last drop out of the can. You drink every drop of the coffee. But I don't eat my crusts of my pizza. But I think that I didn't realise that there was actually heaps of stuff in the world. So I would then turn all the light switches off just in case it might use 30 more cents of power and things. And I think what I observed when I entered a relationship with you, or there shortly after, that you did things completely different. And I thought, wow, this is interesting, because we're just very different.
We are very different.
And I don't think there's a right or a wrong,
Yeah.
but it was a good way to challenge my own thinking of, I wonder why Taryn does that, whereas I do this. And you will still, like, you'll order, we've been together now for coming up 4 years. Is that right? No, we don't even know.
Yeah.
Three.
You got that right.
This year, later this year.
Yeah.
You will order toothpaste, you'll be using the new toothpaste tube, I'll still be using the last one.
Because I know that you're going to do that and I don't have the patience to squeeze it out.
Yeah. So I'm still trapped in that sort of way a little bit, but I'm like, I don't want to throw it out yet because it's just, there's still some there. So, but I think that we then have a tendency to, like, argue, not us, as humans, and I've probably done this prior in my life where I've tried to be like, no, this is the way to do it. Like, no, it has to be done this way. Whereas I think we often try and find a good middle ground of kind of, you'll use the new toothpaste and I'll stay with the old toothpaste.
Yeah.
But it made me wonder, is it because you came from a more abundant way of thinking without even maybe knowing it?
Potentially. Yeah, I guess you just don't know, do you, until you actually meet someone that's outside your family. Like, you also say to me that I put a lot of toothpaste on my toothbrush.
You definitely do.
Yeah. So, yes, we come from families that brush their teeth differently. I think the leftover things, my dad always ate the leftovers. So there was never
There's no
any leftovers for us. Like that was his. He liked cold meat and a sandwich the day after. So that to me wasn't appealing, and I didn't have to do that because he ate that instead.
So he'd get all the kids' leftovers, and then they would be in the fridge, and they would be his.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What other things happened in your upbringing, or can you like spot now? Did you have to turn all the lights off and stuff? Was it like, hey, turn the switches all off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did that.
Did you have like, oh, don't use the aircon. The aircon will use too much petrol. Anything like that?
I don't think you need aircon when you're brought up in Invercargill Lake.
Sorry.
So
Temperature check.
There. Yep, temperature check. Yeah. Well, we were brought up on a dairy farm, and I think we lived like pretty abundant lives, I guess. When it comes to like clothing, I think it was always like buy quality clothing, not quantity of clothing. So fast fashion.
Well, what happened with that?
What?
Oh, sorry. Karen?
Well, I do. I don't buy heaps of clothes. I
Okay.
probably buy quality clothes.
We can get to the definition of heaps later on in the pod, perhaps. But okay, so buy quality clothing. What, from farmlands?
Yeah, from CRT.
Yeah, from farmlands and RD1 or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you drink milk out of the vat?
Yep.
Did you though?
Yes, and in coffees.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was actually really good for milkshakes.
Glass bottles or plastic?
I think we had like a big old plastic milk container that we used to refill each morning.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you notice that when you went to uni or like when you left home that people were way different money-wise and stuff?
Yes.
What did you notice?
People just spend stuff like money on crap.
Crap. What's
Yeah.
good crap?
I think I noticed when I went to uni, because when I left school, I lived in Invercargill for a couple of years. And then, so when I went to uni, my flatmates were already like 3 years in at uni. And I didn't really understand after dinner we'll go to the dairy and we'll get heaps of treats. But that was like a real thing. And now I've just adopted that, and now I'm a treat deleter as well.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
Now we live above a dairy.
Yeah.
We don't go there every night. But
Not every night.
You do love a post-dinner treat though, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes.
Sometimes. Okay. What about clothing? Did you ever worry or think about what clothing you had compared to other people when you were growing up? Did you have any second-hand stuff, or was it always new?
I had hand-me-downs because I was like their younger sister.
Yeah.
But I think it wasn't always new because I had a second-hand like kilt when I was at school. And I just remember when I was at primary school, I had like a real cool Slazenger tracksuit that I used to wear.
Slazenger tracksuit
day.
from the warehouse.
Yeah, I know. It was like
Nice.
a maroon thing, but yeah.
Okay. First job?
First job would be milking cows and feeding cows, just like generic work on the farm. But we didn't get paid for feeding the cows. It was just an expectation every spring that we would feed the calves, and we would have 10 calves on the side, like heifer calves that we would feed as well. And at the end of their spring, summer, when they were beefed up, we would get to kill them and we'd get the money.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I assume they went to the works.
Yeah.
Who would pay for them?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Just want to check the terminology there,
Yeah.
for the listeners that don't
But
come
then
off the farm.
first paid actual job was milking the cows. Get $50 milking.
$50. I was sure that was to
That was
clear
a-
through the books and pay tax
Yeah.
on, of course.
Yeah.
$50 per milking. And how many milkings could you do in a week?
I used to share a relief milking job with a guy I went to school with, and we'd do 3 days on, 3 days off. So we'd get 6 milkings that we'd share.
So $300. Is that right?
Well,
Oh,
I
six-
get
oh,
100.
three.
I get 150. Yeah.
Gotcha. I gotcha. 150. It's in a week sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So we're looking at maybe 7.5K per year of income there. Not bad. Not bad for first job. And what happened after that? Because you then went on, you become a career type person out of the sheds?
Yeah. My first job, or then I went in to be an AI assistant.
What's an AI assistant?
AI assistant is like artificial insemination of the cows. And then...
So were you putting your hand inside
No,
them?
I was the assistant. So I was like...
Holding their hand to put their hand inside something?
No, I was like filling up all the straws like with the semen tubes and then entering all the data.
Where do the straws go?
What?
Where do the straws go? What do you mean filling up the straws? These people haven't come from a farm. Come on. What do you mean what do you put? You put semen in a straw?
Yeah.
Like a McDonald's
straw. So you
straw
have like
or what?
So firstly you have a freezer and then you have all these individual tiny, tiny straws of like semen from the bull, and then you put it in this like big long insemination type stick, and then the actual AI technician puts that into the cow and artificially inseminates the cow. Gotcha. What I was doing is checking where that semen had come from, what bull it had come from, checking that there was no like
breeding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the word.
Inbreeding maybe.
Inbreeding. Yeah. Yeah. Checking that there was none of that, and then like saying what cow was getting what straw.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was that like a full-time job or part-time?
That was like holidays. Like
holidays from what? School?
School holidays. So as soon as like exams finish all the way through to Christmas time. Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah. And then I left school and I went straight into a office junior role in an accounting firm.
Ooh. What sort of money were you pulling in there?
I think it was like $10.35 per hour.
You think? Sounds pretty accurate for a think.
Yeah. Well, I think there was,
20 grand a year.
Yeah, it was pretty tight.
Okay. And then some accounting studies and stuff. Anyway, you did heaps of studies. Now you're a baller in the corporate space. You get paid good coin. What did you notice as you earned more money?
That I would just spend more money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
At the dairy. Yeah? So
lifestyle creep, right?
Yeah. But somewhere along the lines you got into investing though.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't you?
Yeah, well, we were always taught to save. We never had access to a credit card. So, yeah, we were always taught to put some of our income aside.
That's good.
In a savings account that we couldn't touch.
Do you still do that?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, because we've got separate finances for the listeners out there, which we can get to. But just checking. Okay. So you saved some coin and you got into... How did you get into investing in property?
Well, I saved enough money to be able to put a deposit down on a house with the assistance of an inheritance from a late grandfather.
For you to live in? Or
no, an investment property.
Got you.
Yeah.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
And did you...
House prices are a little bit lower in Invercargill.
Oh, so it was in Invercargill.
Yeah.
And did you rent it out?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
And then what you...
And then
eventually...
it made quite a bit of money in a couple of years and I sold it by mistake.
And did you go to Vegas and blow it?
No.
Oh, you didn't do that. Okay, sorry.
No.
This must be someone else.
No.
Yeah.
I put it into a bank account because I knew that I wasn't going to live in Invercargill and I thought that I was going to buy a house in Central Otago.
Oh.
This is like 10 years after doing some work.
Okay, hang on. So this is like your dream in your head. You're like, oh, I'd love to. Was that your kind of the Kiwi starter pack, buy a house? And your image was it would be in Central Otago?
Yeah.
Gotcha. And did it have any vineyards or anything? Or just, when you say Central Otago, like where's that?
It was going to be in Shotover country.
Shotover country. That's where all the retirees live, is it?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay. So that was what you, like, that's maybe like a life goal or something, like what you'd visualised?
No, that was my first time. Well, like the first time that I was going to live in at that point in time.
Oh, so you were going to go buy that?
Yeah.
Oh, but you didn't?
But I didn't.
You put it in the banks and said...
Yeah, because I ended up moving to Auckland. Yeah. And so I just put it in a bank. And then I had to, that sat in a bank account for about 2 years, which was really hard, just sitting, watching it in the bank account. not knowing what to do with it. And I moved to Auckland and I was like, I actually can't afford to buy a house up here.
It's a lot different, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's a house in Auckland is probably 3 or 4 times the cost of a house in Invercargill back in those days.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you brought an investment property again. Is that right?
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And are you enjoying property? You like property?
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things where we've got an investment property because I can't buy where I want to live. So therefore we rent.
Yeah.
Isn't that correct, Luke?
Hey, you're not forced to, are you? Sounds like almost like someone's forcing you to.
No.
Just takes time to
Yeah.
achieve the things that you want, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you still want to buy a house in Shotover country in Central Otago?
Negative.
Oh, you don't anymore. Okay. Because one thing that we did once we'd been together for a while was I sort of quizzed you on like where are we going? What goals do we have? 5 years, 10 years? Kind of turned you into a client almost, or our relationship into a client, and was like, hey, what are we working towards, right?
Yep.
Had you ever thought like that before?
Yes, but I never had to do it with someone else.
Was it scary?
It's always scary doing new shit with you.
Yeah. Sorry. Should I be sorry? Don't think so.
Yes.
Okay, I should be sorry. But we obviously came from very different backgrounds, and we met each other later on in life compared to people out there who may meet their childhood sweetheart, etc. And for me, on my side, I had business assets and falling crypto things and falling bank shares, whilst you had property that's increasing in value. So we decided to get a relationship property agreement, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah, to basically just keep things separate for now.
Yeah.
Should we decide to end the relationship. And those things aren't easy for people to talk about, right? Because you're predicting something to end.
Yeah, I guess we're very fortunate where we both came to the party with assets on both sides.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't have too many, but
Well, you've got your business.
yeah, for me, what it was more about is that Taz would be very well set up compared to the average person in New Zealand by making good decisions that she has throughout her life. And I said to her, well, if I were to die, by law, you would technically be eligible for a lot of this, if not at least sort of half. And are you really going to need that? And she's like, well, like compared to some members of my family, she's like, well, no. And I'm like, yeah, so should we do this? And then I'll leave my stuff to my family to give them a leg up or a bit of progress. But that's obviously in the event of my death. But we also did write into our agreement, and we have a periodic check-in with it where we can get rid of it if we want to, or once we have children, for instance, we'd probably go, well, you know what, that doesn't work anymore.
I think it's got sunset clauses that terminates it, which is when if we have children, and marriage is also one of them as well.
Yeah. So these things can be sort of played with. But we didn't find it too hard to go through that process, did we? Like, it didn't cause we didn't have any arguments.
No.
Is that?
We had upfront conversations though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we sort of both got to see like what are each other's assets, but we already knew because we talk about that stuff. Like, we don't really hide anything from each other.
Yeah.
But we do have separate finances.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll go to like joint at some stage?
I don't want you falling crypto.
What? Hey man,
I've also got falling
2028.
crypto as I've been.
Well, that's actually something I was going to ask. Do you think that some of the things that I've done regarding money, has it influenced your decision to do so?
100%. I've got crypto. I've got Argosy shares that you told me that would make me millions.
I never say that. Okay. Yeah.
What else have I got?
If you hold them for 100 years, you never know.
Yeah.
What else do you have? I'll never forget one day you're like, oh, blah, 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 it's got Air New Zealand shares. Like, oh, I wish I had them too. I'm like, what the fuck? That ain't
was
the way
my
to make a
sister,
decision.
eh? Yeah. That was in COVID.
FOMO drives you a bit, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. If you're like investing in something, I don't want to be sat there on my own while you're making heaps of money. So I like to get a wee piece of the pie.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not often making heaps of money, am I? But I mean, sometimes these things go up. But
Yeah.
but I always say to you though, okay, remember if you want to do this, you could lose your money, but it's what you're going to learn through the process, right? And have you learnt a whole heap of shit?
Yeah, with crypto, I definitely did.
What about the economy in general and stuff?
Yeah, they've got, yeah. I guess I'm always learning in that space. But I think I've also got a real mentality of like, I don't research it or do anything. I'm like, oh well, fuck it, let's gamble it.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Let's take
It's
a
not financial advice, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. See, but that's with a bit of spare money, right?
Yeah.
Because the bulk of your savings, I'd imagine, would go to paying down mortgages, right?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
So you're building up equity in your properties because you've actually got 2 investment properties.
1.5 I own one with my
sorry.
sister.
Gotcha. Okay. Wow. So you bought a property with your sister. That's probably something to touch on. Whereas a lot of
Yeah.
people probably couldn't do that with their siblings, right?
No.
Did you get some like legal agreements drawn up and shit? What if you have a massive fight?
Yeah, I actually don't know if we do have any of that set up.
Okay. All right, let's write that one down. Well, I mean, you got through this long through life together.
It's in like a company, so it's like 50-50. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're 50-50 shareholders.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to ask something, and clothing. I'll just come out there and say it. Clothing. Do you enjoy spending money on clothes? Sometimes Maria, our building manager, will say, "Luke, there's a package for you." And I'm like, "Oh, brilliant! Someone sent me a gift," and it's actually from fucking Dotty or some store.
Dotty?
I don't know. Iconic.
I'm not 12.
Iconic. Like, who's iconic? Fuck, I'm iconic. That's for Taryn. Or Dish. I'm like, oh shit, we've got some new stuff for the kitchen. Fuck. Feels like a dress. Dish with 2 S's, I think.
Yeah.
All these places I've never heard of. So I bring them up to the house and I just plonk them on the counter. Wait for you to get home to get your gifts. And often they go back, don't they?
Sometimes.
Sometimes you'll like ask me though, you'll be shopping, you're like, do you think I should buy this?
Yeah.
What's all that about?
It's always nice to have some verification when you're spending some money.
Verification.
Yeah.
Like, what? So you want me to tell you that's a good idea, or do you want me to say, oh, I think you'd look exactly like that model does in
Yeah.
there, or okay, or just give you the validation that it's okay to buy it? Like, what are you searching for there?
Yeah. Probably the validation. Yep.
So you're almost like, is it okay for me to spend my own money on this clothing?
Yeah.
I see. And what happens when I just turn up home with like heaps of new clothes and shit?
This is the thing that you're not telling your listeners, that you brought 3 pairs of jeans the other day. You brought yourself a new pair of shoes. What else? You got your $500 shirt, so you've got about 12 of now.
I don't have 12 of them. Okay. I have told the listeners about the shirts. I
Yeah.
hadn't told them about my recent escapade to the mall.
Yeah. This is what your listeners don't understand, that you're a little bit of a binge spender as well.
Okay.
Like, oh, I need a new pair of jeans. Oh, fuck it, I'll just get 4 of the same colour, of the same kind in different colours.
Can you repeat that last bit there for a second? I'll just get what?
4 of the same kind in different colours.
Bingo. Because that means for me, I don't need to go shopping 4 times. I'm done. I'm done for the year, for the next
But you're not
winter.
though, because you did that with your shirts. So you brought 4.
I can't wear shirts on my legs.
And then you went and bought other shirts. Anyway.
I got my tailored shirts, and then I got some shirts,
Yeah.
the made-to-measure ones, then got me on the journey of maybe I should get a couple of my older pairs tailored.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You're a bit of a spender you like spending money on like experiences and trips and stuff, eh? That would be the best money you've spent in your life, do you think? Travelling?
Yeah.
Yeah. And is that still, what do you find it easy to spend money on?
Experiences. Like what are you asking? Like,
When you're like, all right, fuck it, I'm spending that. Whereas other people are like, oh, I can't believe you just spent $300 on a dress. Or versus like, oh, well, it's a flight to see my family. It doesn't matter what it costs. Or do you have any of those differences?
yeah, I don't have any issues where it's like spending money on adventures and experiences. Food is all good. Yeah.
Rent was hard for you up here in Auckland, eh? I could tell at the start.
Well, we live in a nice apartment and probably pay a little bit more than most people do for rent.
Yeah, we have a spare room that gets used 12 nights a year, maybe once a month. But also that's something that we value, right?
Yeah.
And we also eat out quite a lot to have time together, and that's sort of our thing. But we start to come to take it for granted a little bit, don't we, I think?
Yeah, I guess I don't like spending money on like just going to the movies for the sake of it, or doing that sort of experiences.
We don't own any shit either. Like, we don't have any. We brought a bed together. That's the only thing that we've got.
Yeah.
The rest of our stuff is fully furnished, so we know that we've got a big spend to kit out a house at some stage too.
Yeah.
And we probably should be saving for that, just so that if we needed to, we could do it. One thing that you didn't want to spend money on as recently as yesterday or the day before is we were about to fly to Melbourne for Christmas to see my family and have family Christmas together. And you always get tricked into on Air New Zealand. You look at the first line, they're so good at it. Oh, well, that seat doesn't have a bag, right? And then it's like bag, plus a bag, and it costs more. And then the works, where you get something to eat. Now, when I was poorer, and I'm not having a crack at anybody that can't afford to do this, but when I thought less abundantly but I was broker, I had less money, whatever terminology, there's absolutely no way I would be getting the works. But I would get on a plane, and what I'd notice is I'd get real jealous at the meals that people had, and I'd end up buying an $18 shitty pie through their touchscreen menu or whatever, instead of actually just getting the works. But also, so I ticked the box for the works, and you were like, don't do that. Like, we don't need the works. It was $50 each, eh?
Yeah.
$100, so $200 in total.
For airplane food.
Yeah. And I was like, no, we're doing it because I don't want you to talk to me for 3 hours each way if we didn't have the movies. So it's actually quite a cheap purchase for me. You didn't think about that, did you? You thought about the meal. You're just taking the headphones off. I'm only tricking. Nah.
Sorry, guys, I just about walked out the studio then.
Nah, but I didn't even think about the movies, but because I know an older version, like a earlier version of Luke would always be gutted that I couldn't have the works, and now I'm in a position where actually I can, although I don't probably need it. So I always like have these countering things in my life where it's like it's okay to actually spend money on that.
If I may.
Oh, okay, Jacinda.
If I may challenge you on this one.
Where did you pick that, Lee? Good job. Yeah.
We both have Cora memberships.
Yeah.
The flights were at like 6:30.
AM.
PM.
Yeah, I'll be hungry by the time we get on a flight.
Exactly. So we go to the airport, we go to the Cora Lounge, we have a meal. Like, what are you going to do? Get back on the plane, have another meal with $50, and it's shit food because it's airplane food. No one likes it anyway. I just didn't really understand your thought process behind this one, and I'm pretty sure I have some support out there.
I'd say so. Well, it'll be a good test when we go, whether you eat your meal or not, because I'll say, excuse me, you can donate her one to someone behind us that doesn't. Or maybe actually might even get them to swap seats with you, and they can have the movies too. What do you think?
Bloody good. I'll watch a movie on my phone.
Okay, we'll see. We shall see.
I'll probably be watching a series or something, just, have it downloaded and off I go.
Love Island season 5.
You do realise, maybe it's the timing for that. That'd be great.
Damn it. Okay. Yeah,
I don't have to talk to you for the whole entire trip.
I said that this podcast could turn into a rumble. Well, look, we'll find out. Stay tuned, listeners, for Christmas 2023 in the Kemi's household, because we might not even make it there because we could have a blow up on the plane. Anyway, what were you going to say? You do realise something?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, we ended up getting the works, and I vetoed your decision not to, and now we're going to have some grouse meals and support New Zealand on the way over. But that's a little bit of me, like, just trying to just be like, nah, you will want that, you will enjoy that meal, so
but I won't, because I've had
that for me.
Oh, you.
But I couldn't go like, oh yes, this ticket, but not her seat. And I could just about guarantee you, I'm sure some of the lads out there would agree that their partner will do this. I don't want anything. I don't want anything to. No, I don't want any dessert. I don't want an ice cream. Well, then fucking what do you know? Old Chomper's next to you as soon as you've got it. No.
Chomp.
You know, they do want a bit of it, don't they? So I reckon that you won't regret having the works, but we will see. But it does seem expensive, $50 each. These are the tough problems that we have, team. Yeah, very lucky, very blessed. You said something to me the other day which was quite interesting. We were out for dinner for my birthday, which you paid for, which is very nice of you. And I didn't get the dessert just to be good to you. No, I didn't feel like any sugar.
I think it might have been on the flat card.
Oh, you're joking. So we do, yeah, that's where we should clarify that. So what we do is we put some money into, for food, goes into Taryn's account, and you do all the food shopping and spending and stuff, and that's kind of when we go out for a breakfast or something, hopefully we can use money in there so that we're not individually paying.
Yeah.
And I've never seen that money. I wouldn't know how to log into that. I wouldn't know if Taryn's buying Botox with that or anything.
No. For the listeners, we put $300 into a bank account for food each week, and Luke puts $300 into a savings account.
150.
Oh, why is it different?
Because of the rent.
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
You don't need to get into the numbers. People will be like, "Fuck, mate, I live in fucking Timbuktu. My rent's $36. Why are you telling me?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, we put money for food and stuff into one account.
Yeah.
It's basically we have all the costs is what the thing is there.
Yeah.
But then you're in charge of the food side of things. But I have trust that you're not shafting me and spending that money on. Why are you smiling? Maybe I should. Well, yeah, the odd time that you get the wrong card.
No. You can audit it if you want.
No, I don't. It sounds like I need to. Ladies and gentlemen, Luke at keepthechange.co.nz or send me a message on Instagram if you think I need to audit the joint account. Look, the laughter and body language you would suggest that I need to get my green pen out.
No, I don't think you do. There might just be a
You're grabbing a necklace. You are. What are you not telling me?
I might just buy my own lunch on there every now and then. It's nothing.
Jesus.
Anyway.
Okay. Well, look, I'll forgive you. But just you can be honest about these things going forward.
Yeah, but the purpose of that account is so we don't have to get to the counter and be like, oh, let's split this. Yeah. So I just always pay the whole time. And very, very rarely do you ever pay for a meal. Is that not correct?
Depending. Yeah, usually. Yeah. Unless we go out for like friends and stuff and I might get the whole thing or whatever, where it's like my friends or I know that we're at somewhere. Yeah. Pay back a business favour or something like that.
Anyway.
You said to me the other day when we were out for dinner, you said, will we always go this hard? Kind of.
Hard?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, as in work this hard.
Oh, yeah.
That was later on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you were basically saying, are we always going to be just fucking this full on? Because we are pretty full on, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was more like, are we always going to be working this intensely?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think that people probably don't see about my level of work? So they might just listen to this podcast, for instance, for you to say something like that or to think that we work intensely.
Yeah, well, I think our lives are very chaotic with regards to work. Like it's wake up, like to say we're not on our phones straight away, but you are. Then you're off to the gym. Then you're off
do work first.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like it's straight into work.
Yeah. And
then it's we do have a very good work-life balance though, but it's like when we're working, and that's a lot of the time. Like it's a Saturday and we're both in at work.
Yeah.
And that's not abnormal for us.
No.
Yeah.
And then we both go to work, we both come home, both get home usually around 6-ish, depending if I'm in my busy season or I might be recording a podcast or I might be doing a Thursday night podcast, won't get home till 8:30.
Yeah, we have dinner together and then we usually do a little bit more work.
Yeah, not usually. I don't know. Maybe at the moment you're playing catch up a little bit with your new role and stuff. But but yeah, I think there's a lot of sacrifice that goes on to have a life like we have, and sometimes you wonder, is it actually
worth it?
Yeah, or like how sustainable is this, or what's it all for? And yeah, you can. I think with money you've got to be careful because you can make more of it, but then you can rinse plenty of it as well. And it's very easy to be like, okay, let's bolt on the meals on the plane and stuff. Okay, it's only a couple $100. We can afford that. Won't regret that. But could that $200 be then put straight into a Sharesies account or a saving account or something like that, right? But yeah, we do definitely sacrifice a lot of time together. But I think we both know that it's for a bigger picture, right?
Yeah, I think that picture's in your head. You don't often share it with me sometimes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, do we need to get the picture out of the head?
Yeah.
Well, often we'll talk about, I guess, do you think that, has one thing been for you that I think a lot bigger
Yeah.
than to what you would even have thought?
Yeah.
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 And that's probably a big difference in our relationship that we learned very early, right? That we were way different of, once you probably just wanted to own a home and shot over country with all the fucking retirees. But now you're like, okay, I don't want that. But you get to Auckland, you realise, you said in your words before, can't have the house that I want, can't afford it.
Yeah.
So then we're trying to figure out, can we achieve these things, right?
Yeah.
But we've all got to sacrifice things as we go to then have the things that we want, if we want them.
Yep. Definitely. And at the moment, ours is probably just like a social life at the moment.
Social life.
Yeah, but then we all
stag doing all sorts of shit.
we also have that. So yeah,
you can't confuse you for us. That's what I think is important in a relationship too. Like, oh, we're sacrificing social time. I'm getting heaps of that stuff. Maybe you're feeling like you're not, and then saying that is it.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Busy week, guys.
Yeah, we've had a busy week. You got a busy time. Chaz has recently taken on a new role, and it's a lot. It's intense, isn't it? Because you're having to figure out.
I haven't filled my old role yet, so I'm doing 2 roles.
You're doing 2 roles. That's always helpful.
Yeah.
Getting anyway, there's not.
Anyway,
but anyway, what we said at dinner the other night is, we get to do these things to at least see, do we want them? Because I think when you come through accounting study, the goal and the dream is to be a partner at a Big Four, and you can make huge money, and that's kind of where everyone's climbing in our industry to get to. But then you've actually got to work really hard. Very few people get to those roles, right? So you've got to sacrifice a lot, as those partners in those big firms and stuff do. Now, I met with a guy the other day, and he said to me, he'd been with his wife for decades, and I said to him, has that been easy, or has that been challenging? And he said, no, the promise I gave my partner was that I would not lose my marriage as part of the business person that I am, because he had a lot of shit that he knew he could achieve, and so he decided that he made that commitment to them. So I think it can be done right, but the key is that these conversations have to happen in a relationship.
100%. And I think it's also key that, like, while you want to, someone might want to be the partner of an accounting firm, the other person in the relationship may not want that. They may not have those career aspirations. Like, you want to be a sir. I don't want that.
But we try and support each other's goals, right?
Yeah.
Is that where you're going with that? Or are you now telling me that you're not happy with the goals that I have?
No, I'm not saying that. It's just, it's hard being in a relationship when there's one person that's very, very like an overachiever, for the other person to just cruise on the side. Because you, for example, if I was just a cruise, you wouldn't understand that. So that's why I have to push myself and challenge myself. Well, not just why, but that does assist me pushing myself and challenging myself and getting me to where I am today, I guess.
Equally, if you did just want to cruise, then that I would have to accept that that's what you'd like to do, and would have to make that work.
Yep, you would.
Is this what you're telling me?
Hey?
You just want to get a box of cruises and cruise.
Green ones.
Green ones.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've got that in you. I do think maybe eventually you'll probably be like, yeah, fuck that. I'm just going to do this stuff. But yeah, whatever. It is what it is. hopefully we won't have any issues with that. We'll see. But goals together, obviously very important.
Yeah.
This is what this has been about.
Oh,
This
okay.
part.
Have you got our goals?
We did write them down, didn't we?
Yeah, maybe
Can you remember? No, can't. We did want to do some travel and stuff. We said all this stuff, and then COVID hit, and we're like, oh yeah, great. But we've got a very full life, I would like to say, Taryn.
Yep.
Don't we?
Mm-hmm.
And we can do a number of things that others can't.
Yeah.
But that means we have to do a number of things that others aren't willing to do. Both of us. And that can mean time away from each other. But ultimately, I think we still get to spend like a lot of time together and check in with each other about how we are, what we're doing, etc. And make sure we want those things that are coming towards us. Any final... You've run out of energy by a mile, eh?
No.
Oh,
No. Just letting you wrap up.
okay. Any final thoughts from your side? What advice would you give to your younger self about money?
I'd definitely tell myself not to sell my house,
Which one?
the one in Invercargill,
Got you.
until I had like another investment plan all sorted.
Yeah.
But I don't regret spending my money going travelling. Yeah.
Nice. So did you use some of that house sale money to go travelling, is that what you're saying?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
What's one thing that I've taught you about money? Or that you've learnt about money through me?
Don't invest in crypto.
Fuck, I might have to edit this one.
What have you taught me about money? That you don't like buy now, pay later.
You just heard me yelling about that before.
Yeah. Yeah. What have I taught you about money?
300 and something podcasts, and you clearly haven't learnt anything from me about money. That's outstanding, ladies and gentlemen.
What have you taught me? What have I taught you about money?
That there will always be more toothpaste at the supermarket. That it's okay to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yep. And that we all have different differences with it. And it's about it's not about finding what's right or wrong. It's about finding what's right or wrong for you, and being able to have conversations about it without it being a big fucking drama. Like it's literally just numbers on a sheet, or coins and notes.
Yeah.
And we've done very well not to. We've never fought that I can recall about money. Like every now and then, okay, should we get the work sort of thing? But it's not like, okay, there's 24 hours where we don't talk to each other or anything stupid like that. We kind of have quite a big trust in each other.
Yeah.
Around our finances.
Yeah, definitely. I think the big thing for me would be like our apartment where we live. If like when we went to move in there, that was a lot of money to put on rent. And I didn't really understand it at that point in time. And now we're at the point where we want to leave the apartment, but we can't because it's so close to the gym, to supermarket, to work.
Car parks. Hasn't gone up for 3 years.
Yeah, it just saves us so much time and money.
Mm.
And yeah, I don't think I would have understood that if I hadn't lived there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like the view that it has, it's amazing to wake up to, and I think it actually does make a change to our days.
Yeah, we
a lot of the time
woke up this morning, had a coffee in bed together. Looked out, we pulled the blind. It's one of the first things we do. We get to sit there and enjoy that 10 minutes. We're both on our phones, and we've got the view in the background.
Yeah.
No, but we do enjoy that, right?
Yeah.
And you start to see those. You've got to figure out what you value yourself. Have you learnt anything through growing up that you've realised isn't true about money that you once thought was true?
No, I don't think so.
No? Okay.
Nothing springs to mind.
Nope.
I value the way my parents brought me up and the way they are with money. Yeah.
what one thing would you teach your children about money?
Just to save.
Save.
Yeah.
From an early age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What would you teach yours?
Oh, the sooner you're in crypto, the more chance you are that it could go up over your lifetime.
Yeah, ample kids.
Now we'll get them investing early. But the thing that I'm worried about, because I've had a great life and a great upbringing, and now I've had to earn money and figure out some of these investing things and whatnot, and you get to make heaps of mistakes because you don't know what you don't know. But what I'm a little bit worried about is then having kids where they've got access to quite a bit of coin. So we might start investing for them at day one, right? And they get to 18 and it's like, here you go, you're not going to have to pay to go to uni because your fucking degree's $100,000 to get some bullshit degree that's probably not worth anything anyway. But
no, but that's not true though. Like the way the relationship you have with your kids, if you do have an abundance of money, you have to teach them.
Yeah.
That, like I was never given a credit card just because my parents had money, like I always had to earn my money before I spent it.
Yeah, nice.
And I actually listened to a podcast the other day and it was with Max Key, and he didn't actually realise that he was from a family that was well off until he was about 20, because they had never just been like, oh, here's a PS5, oh, here's this, oh, here's that. He actually had to earn his money, and he worked in McDonald's while John Key was Prime Minister.
John Key, I think, donated his salary as well.
Yeah.
So he, had already self-funded his career. Oh, I don't like John Key. Cool, who cares? Just get on with it. It's just a person. Okay. Yeah, well, what I was going to say is you're going to have to learn the skills to do that well. You know what I mean? But then we think that that's the right thing to do. But what I read a lot, that people that have a lot of money and they gift it to their kids and shit, and then they haven't had strong values, so they fuck it up or they end up with problems or something anyway, and you think you're doing the right thing for them, but then it actually, backfires. You know what I mean? Like paying for their uni or something or whatever, or like giving them a massive allowance and they don't actually realise how the real world works as such. So it'll be another chapter to try and figure out that side of things.
Yeah.
And then do it with a partner when you've got different money beliefs and stuff. Anyway, geez. It's been fun to chat, Taryn. Time to do some work?
Always a pleasure.
When I say that, have you had a couple of beers? Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
Hopefully you've enjoyed that episode of the Keep the Change podcast, one off the cuff. I'm sure you've got a number of things that you may struggle or have fun with when it comes to your partner. Just know that you're no different to anybody else out there, and we've all got different ways that we look at money. The main thing is that we try and get on the same page with each other and head in the same direction.